once again I am in front of you with the new topic of circle. Today we are going to learn inscribed angle theorem. The theorem states that the measure of an inscribed angle is half of the measure of the arc intercepted by it. Now dear student, here we have two new terms, that is inscribed angle and intercepted arc. So what do you mean by inscribed angle and intercepted arc? Before going for this theorem, this term should be clear for you. Okay? So let's first see inscribed angle. Now here an angle is called inscribed angle in an arc of a circle if the vertex of the angle is on the arc and endpoints of the arc are on the sides of the angle. Right? So when we can call an angle as inscribed angle? It's very simple. When the vertex of an angle is on the arc. Now here in the figure you can see here there is an angle ABC. Okay, and arc ABC, or we can call it as arc APC. Now here already we took the angle ABC, so we will consider this arc as arc APC, which is shaded here. Okay. Now the angle ABC, its vertex is angle B, which is lying on this arc APC. Right? According to the definition, the vertex of the angle is on the arc. Vertex B is on the arc APC, right? And the endpoints of the arc. What are the endpoints of the arc? Point A and point C. These are the endpoints of this arc APC. These endpoints are lying on the sides of this angle ABC. That's why we can call this angle ABC as an inscribed angle. Now let's learn the next term, that is intercepted arc. What is meant by intercepted arc? Given an arc of the circle and an angle, if each side of the angle contains an endpoint of the arc and all points of the arc except the endpoints of the arc are in interior of the angle, then the arc is said to be intercepted by the angle. Okay. Now here there is an arc PAR. Okay. Now for this arc PAR, its endpoints are point P and point R. Each endpoint of this arc is lying on each side. One endpoint on one side, other endpoint on other side. Okay? And except these endpoints, remaining points of this arc are lying interior to the angle. That's why we can call this arc PAR is intercepted by angle PQR. Let's see some more figures of the intercepted arc. Here we have some figures of intercepted arc. In the first figure, PQR. For this angle PQR, its vertex is lying on the circle. Then we can call arc PAR is intercepted by angle PQR. Now here in the second figure, the vertex of the angle PQR is lying inside the circle. Okay. Then also we can say that arc PAR is intercepted angle PQR because endpoints of the arc are lying on the each side of the angle and the remaining points are interior to the angle. Okay, so here we did not have to mind that where is the vertex of the angle, whether it is on the circle, inside the circle or outside the circle. In the third figure, here the vertex of the angle PQR is exterior to the circle. Okay, so here also we can say that our PAR is intercepted by angle PQR. Okay, because endpoints are on each side of the angle, remaining points are interior to the circle. Now in this case, this angle PQR intercepts two arcs, that is arc ST and arc PAR. We are knowing this, right? But here also the endpoints of the arc ST, that is point S and T. So each endpoint of the arc ST is lying on each side of the angle and remaining points are interior to the angle. That's why you can say that this arc ST is also intercepted by the angle PQR. Now in this last figure, angle PQR, its vertex is exterior to the circle, right? But in this case, this arc, its endpoints are lying on only one side. According to the definition of intercepted arc, we want each endpoint of the arc on each side of the angle. But here, both the endpoints of the arcs are on the same side. That's why in this case, we cannot say that this is the arc intercepted by angle PQR. I hope it's clear for you what is meant by intercepted arc. So dear students, it might be clear for you what is meant by inscribed angle and intercepted arc. Now let's see the inscribed angle theorem. The theorem states that the measure of an inscribed angle is half of the arc intercepted by it. Okay. So for this theorem, figure will be like this. A circle with the center O, and in that circle there is an angle BAC. Angle BAC is an inscribed angle, okay, which is inscribed in the arc BAC. And this angle BAC intercept arc BDC. So this is our given part. Now what we have to prove? The measure of this inscribed angle BAC is a half of its intercepted arc, that is arc BDC. So to prove angle BAC is equal to half of measure arc BDC. This is its intercepted arc, right? Now to prove this, we have to do the construction. What is the construction? So here we have to draw here ray OA such that it intersects the arc at point E. Okay, and we have to draw the radius OC. Now let's see the proof. Now in a proof, consider the triangle AOC. Triangle AOC. In this triangle AOC, we can say that side OA equal to side OC, right? Why? Because these are the radii of same circle. Side OA congruent side OC, radii of same circle. So in this triangle OAC, as these two sides are congruent, so we can call this triangle OAC as an isosceles triangle, right? And as it is an isosceles triangle, so it base angles are congruent, right? That is angle OAC congruent angle OCA. Angle OAC equal to angle OCA by the theorem of isosceles triangle. Let's consider this each angle as x. This angle x, this is also x. Give it as a first. Okay? Then now here angle EOC. This angle EOC is an exterior angle of triangle OAC, right? And we are knowing that the measure of exterior angle is equal to the sum of measure of its remote interior angle. Now for remote angle, angle EOC, which is an exterior angle, so its measure will be equal to its remote interior angle. That is angle OAC plus angle OCA, right? So here angle EOC is equal to this OAC, right, plus OCA, right? And here each this angle is of x degree. So x plus x 2x degree. Okay. So in this way we got the measure of this exterior angle EOC as a 2x degree, right? Now this angle EOC, it is a central angle because center of the circle and vertex of the angle are same, right? That's why angle EOC is a central angle, and we are knowing that the measure of central angle is equal to the measure of its corresponding minor arc. That is angle EOC is equal to REF. So in this way, REC. So in this way we got the REC as 2x. Okay, so we can say by the definition of measure of arc. Give that as a second. Now here from first and second, this angle OAC. Angle OAC is nothing but angle EAC, right? So angle EAC, which is of x degree, and REC is of 2x degree, right? So here we can say that angle EAC is half of the measure REC. Give that as a third, right? Now, similarly, we can prove this on this side by drawing this radius OB. Now here, in a triangle AOB, here also we can say OA congruent to OB, right, of the same circle. So this is also an isosceles triangle. So same way, if we prove here also, then we will get angle BAE, or we can say angle EAB is equal to half of RBE, right? Angle EAB is equal to half of measure RBE. Give that as a fourth one. Okay. Now let's add this third and fourth. Okay. So LHS of third is angle EAC plus angle EAB. Okay, is equal to RHS. Half of measure REC plus half of measure RBE. Okay. Now here angle EAC plus angle EAB. Angle EAC means this angle plus angle EAB. Angle EAB, right? So sum of these two angles is nothing but this big angle, angle BAC, right? So sum of these two angles is nothing but angle BAC, right? And here for this both arcs there is half common, right? Let's take it out. So in the bracket we will get measure arc EC plus measure of arc BE, right? Now here again, arc EC right? So sum of these two arcs is nothing but RBEC. RBEC, right? So half of major arc BEC, and this RBEC is nothing but we can say it as RBDC. So here we got angle BAC is equal to half of major arc BDC. So in this way we had proved that measure of this inscribed angle is half of the measure of its intercepted arc. I hope the theorem is clear for you. So dear students, we have studied inscribed angle theorem. Now let's learn corollaries of inscribed angle theorem. The first corollary is angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent, right? Now here in the arc PQR, or we may read it as RPSR, which is shown in the shaded form. In this arc there are two angles, angle PQR and angle PSR. If we measure of these two angles, then we'll find that these angles are of equal measure. With the help of protractor, if we measure these angles, we'll find that these angles are congruent. Not only these two angles, if we'll take on this arc anywhere, if we'll take the vertex of angle, then we'll find that that angle is also congruent to these angles. It means angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent. Now, second one is angles inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle, right? Now here, chord AC is a diameter. Due to that, this circle with the center A gets divided into two equal parts, and each part we call it as a semicircle, right? Now, in this arc, in the semicircle ABC, the angle ABC is inscribed in this arc. If we measure this angle, we'll find that this angle is also of 90 degree, right? And measure of this semicircle is 180. So we have studied in the inscribed angle theorem, this measure of the inscribed angle is half of its intercepted arc. So as it is 180, so this angle is of 90 degree, and through the activity also we can prove that this angle is of 90 degree. So in this way, angle inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle. Dear students, we have studied inscribed angle theorem and corollaries of inscribed angle theorem. Now let's learn the theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. Before that, you should know what is meant by cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, so let's watch this video.
A four-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral has four vertices. The vertices of this quadrilateral are A, B, C and D. Sometimes it is possible to construct a circle in such a way that it passes through all the four vertices of the quadrilateral. In that case, all the four vertices of the quadrilateral lie on the circle. Such a quadrilateral whose all the four vertices lie on the circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. Here, the quadrilateral ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral as its all the four vertices A, B, C and D lie on a circle. Similarly, all these quadrilaterals are different cyclic quadrilaterals. Observe that in each case, all the four vertices of the quadrilateral lie on a circle. But these quadrilaterals are not cyclic quadrilaterals, as there all the four vertices do not lie on a circle. These are called non-cyclic quadrilaterals. Observe that in each case, at least one of the vertices lies in the interior of the circle or outside it. Cyclic quadrilaterals have many interesting properties. For example, the sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degrees. Or, in other words, the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary.
So friends, it might be clear for you what is meant by cyclic quadrilateral. Okay? Now let's learn the theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. The statement is that opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Right? So for this theorem, figure is like this. Quadrilateral A, B, C, D is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay? Now, given quadrilateral A, B, C, D is cyclic. Okay? Then what we have to prove? Opposite angles are supplementary. So here we are getting two pairs of opposite angle. Right? So angle B and angle D. This is one pair. And second one is angle A and angle C. So here we have to prove that angle B plus angle D is equal to 180 and angle A plus angle C is equal to 180. Okay? Now let's come to the proof. So here arc ABC intercepted by the angle, described angle ADC. Arc ABC is intercepted by inscribed angle ABC. Right? This angle intersect this arc. Okay. Therefore, here angle ADC, measure of this angle ADC is half of its intercepted arc. That is half of measure arc ABC. Give this as a first. Similarly, now angle ABC. Angle ABC is inscribed angle and it intercepts arc ADC. Okay? So here, measure of this angle ABC is a half of this intercepted arc, that is half of measure arc ADC. Okay? Give this as a second. Now let's add this first and second. Okay? So here, angle ADC plus measure of angle ABC is equal to half of measure arc ABC plus half of measure arc ABC. So we had added this. Now here, you can see here half is common. Let's take it out. Okay? Then half of measure arc ABC plus arc measure of arc ADC. Okay? Then now here arc ABC and arc ADC. Arc ABC and this arc ADC. Okay? So if we combine both this arc, we are getting here whole circle. And we are knowing that measure of whole circle is 360. Right? So here the sum of these two arcs is nothing but whole circle and its measure is 360. Therefore, half 1 upon 2 multiplied by 360. Reason we can say arc ABC and arc ADC constitute a complete circle. Okay? Then half of 360 is nothing but 180. So in this way we got angle B plus angle D. Here we can write it these angles with the single letter, that is angle B plus angle D is equal to 180. Right? So in this way we had put the first pair of opposite angle as supplementary. Okay? Now give this as a third. Now this second pair, how we can do? Now to prove this second pair, that is angle A plus angle C is equal to 180, we have two options. sum of all its four angles is 360. That is angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 360. Right? Now here angle B plus angle D. Angle B plus angle D. Already we have proved that it is equal to 180. Okay, so here let's write this both angle together. Angle B plus angle D plus angle A plus angle C is equal to 360. Now, instead of this angle B plus angle D, we can write here 180. So here we can say from third. Okay, then instead of this angle B plus angle D, we wrote here 180 plus angle A plus angle C is equal to 360, right? Now angle A plus angle C is equal to 180 is plus, it will be minus, so 360 minus 180, that is 180. So in this way we have proved that angle A plus angle C is equal to 180. Okay, so in this way we have proved that both these pair of opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. I hope it's clear for you. Now, let's learn the property of intersecting chords and the angle forming between them. So here, if the chords are intersecting inside the circle, then what is the result? Okay, so we have the first property that if two chords of a circle intersect each other in the interior of a circle, then the measure of the angle between them is half the sum of measure of arcs intercepted by the angle and its opposite angle. Now here we have two chords called AB and chord CD. These two chords are intersecting each other inside the circle at point E. Then we have to show that the angles formed between them. Now here the angle formed. Which angle is formed here? Angle AEC. Or we can take angle DEB. Any one of this we can take. After all, these are the vertically opposite angles which are congruent. So here we took the angle AEC. So this angle AEC is equal to the half of the sum of the measure are AC and DB. Right? So we have to prove this. Okay, so to prove this here, angle DEB. Now here this theorem we have to use to solve the examples. Right? Here this theorem is not asked in the exam, but how this property is there, that we have to see. Okay? So here angle DEB, it is this angle. Angle DEB is equal to angle EAD. Actually this angle DEB is an exterior angle of triangle AET. Right? So its measure is equal to the sum of its remote interior angle. Okay? So here angle DEB is equal to angle EAD plus angle EDA. Right? So here we can give the result exterior angle theorem. Okay? Now here angle DEB is equal to, now instead of saying EAD, we can say angle BAD. The vertex remain same. Okay? Similarly, instead of saying angle EDA, we can say angle CDA. Okay? So here we change this angle EAD to BAD and this EDA to CDA. Okay? Now here, by the incident angle theorem, this angle BAD intercept RBD. Right? So its measure of this incident angle is half of the measure RDB. Okay? Similarly, this angle CDA, this angle intersect the RAC. So its measure is half of the measure RAC. So we replace this angle by its intercepted R. Now again here, this half is common. Let's take it out. So here we will get half of, in bracket, measure of R AC. We can rearrange that, measure of R AC plus measure of R BB, and that only we have to prove. So in this way we can say that if the chords are intersecting each other inside the circle, then the angle formed between them is equal to the half of sum of the arcs intersect by the angle and the angle opposite to it. Okay. Now we can take this also. These are also angles formed by this intersecting chords. So here we can say angle AED, or we can say angle CEB. Okay. So angle CEB is equal to half of the measure of R AD plus measure of R BC. Right? I hope the property is clear for you. Friends, we have studied the property of intersecting chords when they are intersecting interior to the circle. Now let's learn the property of intersecting chords when they are intersecting exterior to the circle. The property is, if two lines containing chords of a circle intersect each other outside the circle, then the measure of angle between them is half the difference in measures of the arcs intersected by the angle. So here we have to prove that angle AEC is equal to measure of R AC minus measure of R BD. Okay. So here two lines containing the chords, that is chord AB and chord CD. So these lines are intersecting each other exterior to the circle at point E. Okay, and the angle formed by these two lines is angle AEC. Okay, so we have to show that the measure of this angle is equal to the half the difference between the arcs intersected by this angle. Now this angle intersects two arcs, that is our AC and our BD. These are the two arcs intersected by angle AEC. Okay, so we have to show that the measure of this angle AEC is a half the difference between these two arcs. So let's prove this. So here angle ADC is an exterior angle of triangle ADE, right? So here measure of this angle ADC. So its measure is the sum of its remote interior angles, that is angle DAE plus angle DEA, right? Here you can see angle ADC is equal to angle DAE plus angle AED, right? So here we can say exterior angle theorem. Okay. Then here we had made slight change. Now here instead of saying this angle DAE up to this E, we can say angle DAB. Angle remains same. Okay. So angle DAE, instead of that we have written angle DAB. Similarly, instead of saying angle AED, that is angle AED, we can say angle AEC. Angle remains same. Okay. So in this way we have made these changes. Now here we can say that angle AEC is equal to, now this angle DAB is a plus, so it will be minus. Okay. So here angle AEC is equal to angle ADC minus angle DAB. Okay. Now here angle ADC, this angle intersects RAC, right? So measure of this angle ADC is a half of its intersected arc, that is half of measure R AC. Okay, in the same way, angle DAB, angle DAB, it means this angle. This angle intersects the arc BD. Okay, so here the measure of this angle DAB is half of measure arc BD. Okay, so here we replace this angle by its intercepted arc by the inscribed angle theorem. Okay, now here half is common. Let's take it out. So here half into bracket measure of arc AC minus measure of arc BD. So in this way we have proved that the angle formed by these two intersecting chords, and the chords are intersecting each other outside the circle, then the measure of this angle is equal to the difference, half the difference between the arcs intersect by this angle, right? So dear student, we have studied inscribed angle theorem and theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. Let's apply these theorems to solve the example. So here we have the first example from practice set 3.4. So in this first question we are given with the figure, and it is mentioned that chord AB is equal to radius. Okay, then we are asked to find out the measure of angle AOB, angle ACB, arc AB and arc ACB. So let's find out one by one. So for this first, so here to get the angle AOB, so here let's consider the triangle AOB. Okay, now here segment OA is equal to segment OB. Segment OA is equal to segment OB, that is radius of the same circle, right? And chord AB is equal to radius, it is already given. It means that here in a triangle AOB, this all three sides are congruent. It means that triangle AOB is an equilateral triangle, right? And we are knowing that the measure of each angle of an equilateral triangle is 60 degree, right? That's why angle AOB is equal to 60 degree. So in this way we got the answer for the first. Now angle ACB. To get that, now here arc AB. This arc AB subtend two angles. One angle at the center, that is angle AOB, is suspended by arc AB at the center, and this arc AB subtend the angle at the vertex on the circle, that is angle ACB. This is also the angle subtended by arc AB, right? And the relation between these two angles is that this angle ACB is half of the angle AOB. So we can write this property: the measure of an angle subtended by an arc at a point on the circle is half of the measure of angle subtended by the same arc at the center. It means that angle ACB is equal to half of angle AOB, right? And here already we had found out the angle AOB, that is 60 degrees. So half of 60 degrees is 30 degrees. So in this way we got angle ACB is equal to 30 degrees. Now let's solve the third one, that is arc AB. Now here measure of arc AB is equal to angle AOB by the definition of measure of minor arc. We have studied that this arc AB is equal to the measure of this central angle. Okay, so whatever is the measure of the central angle will be the measure of its corresponding minor arc. And we have find out this angle AOB as 60 degree. Therefore, arc AB is equal to 60 degree. Now let's find out the fourth one, that is arc ACB. Now here measure of arc AB plus measure of arc ACB, right? So gives us whole circle, right? So we can say here measure of arc AB plus measure of arc ACB is equal to 360, right? Because measure of the whole circle is 360. Then here arc AB, we had find out it as 60, so put that value 60 plus measure of arc ACB is equal to 360, right? So measure of arc ACB is equal to this 60 is plus, it will be minus. So 360 minus 60, that is 300. So in this way we got measure of arc ACB is equal to 300 degree. Now let's solve one more example. That is question number 7. In a figure, measure of arc NS is given 125 degree and measure of arc AF is given 37 degree. Then we asked to find out the measure of angle NMS. Okay. So here, let's see the solution. Arc NS is given 125 degree and arc AF is given 37 degree. Okay. Now here, you can see here angle NMS. Okay. This is the angle which is formed by the intersecting chords. Now here, the lines containing the chords intersect each other exterior to the circle. We have studied that, right? The measure of this angle is half of the difference between the arcs intersect by this angle. That is half of this measure arc NS minus arc AF, right? Same property we can write here. So here angle NMS has its vertex in the exterior of the circle and intersects arc EF and arc NS. That's why its measure is angle NMS is equal to half of measure arc NS minus measure arc EF. Okay, that is the difference between these two arcs. Now here arc NS is given 125 degree and EF is given 37 degree. Okay, so here angle NMS is equal to half into 125 minus 37, that is 88. Okay, therefore angle NMS is equal to 44 degree. So in this way, by using the property of intersecting chords, we can find out the measure of this angle